The presenting sponsor of Moontower Soccer is FVF Law.
To find out what makes FVF a different kind of injury law firm, you can visit fvf.law.
I used to always make you smile, but now I struggle with the dial. Soon as I try to call your number. Hello, friends, and welcome to Swoontower Soccer Podcast. I'm Stephanie Cragnola.
And I'm Mike Ellison.
And we are here today going over the last 3 weeks. We've missed you. We are covering the international break, our away match versus San Jose, and our this weekend home match versus the Minnesota Loons.
That's not their name.
The Minnesota Loons. I did a book report on our state bird when I was in elementary school.
Their state bird?
Well, it was at my state bird when I was in elementary school. I had color-coded research and everything. It was all about loons.
Great. That's, you know what? That's great.
Yeah. So we will get to all of that. But first off, we wanted to take a moment to address Cecilio with a content warning that we will be talking about assault. So please skip ahead about a minute if you need to.
Yeah, it's no news that we've been effusive with our praise of Cecilio on the show in the past, and we, like everyone else, don't have any new information on the current situation. But in the past week, we have heard and read about a 2016 dropped domestic violence charge against him. Charges
for domestic violence tend to be dropped for a number of reasons, particularly in situations where the power dynamic in a relationship so overwhelmingly disadvantages the victim.
And the public traditionally glorifies and protects athletes based on their on-field performance, often regardless of their off-the-pitch behavior. Even in MLS, especially the past couple of years, we've seen firsthand how organizations try to protect their athletes from repercussions.
Regardless of whatever the current investigation with Cecilio involves, there's no place for abusers in our discourse.
We understand that we have the advantage of getting to talk or not talk about whoever we want in our content and appreciate the opportunity to bring lighthearted, silly social news to y'all. So we're going to get right back to that. But for now, we also have included some links to some resources in the show notes and are always available if you need to reach out.
So with that, we're jumping right into dogs, Mike.
Oh, thank God. Please, will you tell me about Lance?
Lance is the dreamiest pup that I can't believe how gentle and sweet and just affectionate and loving Lance was when we got to meet him this weekend.
Very loving.
There's something about when you meet a dog for the first time and he just comes right up and kisses your face. Like he's known you for years and he's comfortable, and that sort of sweetness from a pup, it can't be beat.
It was an interview that we had to do a little bit of personal research on beforehand, right?
We did, because Lance is deaf.
Yeah, and so I didn't know how to say verde in sign language, and so we looked up the Mexican sign language for verde, and we can teach anyone who wants to learn that now.
Yeah, we can do a little Twitter video.
Yeah, can you see it? I'm doing it right now. But for real, getting to meet Lance and see the way that the handlers use sign language to instruct him and kind of focus his attention and stuff, even in a crazy situation like at Q2, was really cool.
Yeah, it shows what a well-trained and just absolutely precious little sweet little boy. Lance is 3.5 years old. He's 94 pounds, so he's not really a little...
Tiny little baby. Just miniature nothing. You wouldn't even notice it.
But he truly is a lap dog. Whoever's lap he's sitting on better be strong, but he does love that cuddling attention. So we did get an interview with him, and we're going to play that for you now.
Hi, baby. We are here with Lance. Lance is he's the dog of the day. Thank you, baby. Lance is the APA mascot of the match here. Lance, we are so excited to have you here. Lance is hearing impaired, so this is on the audio podcast. You don't have to know, but this is all signed to Lance. And so, Lance, tell me, who do you think is gonna win today, huh? Yeah, that's right, Austin. Good boy. Hey, Lance,
can you give us a verde?
Yeah, it's like this.
Yeah.
Can you do that one? Oh, good boy.
Thank you,
Awesome. Thank you for the kisses. What a good boy.
Yeah, I'm going to rate Lance 700 kisses out of 10.
At least.
At least.
Let's talk about some pregame outfits.
Okay.
Because we got them again
We did.
for Minnesota. We didn't get a lot for San Jose because they were on the road, right? So we got more bucket hats.
We got a lot of Panera boxed
We
lunch
got a lot of
shots.
Panera box lunch. I did notice that Driussi was not carrying a Panera box.
Do you think it's because he was so excited that he ate it before they could take a picture?
Oh, maybe. I was thinking he might be going keto.
Oh, I bet Panera has a wealth of offerings for a keto diet.
We're not sponsored by Panera.
Well, we could be.
Panera, if you're listening, shout out.
Oh, mac
you.
and cheese in a bread bowl. That's keto, right? Oh, I want it.
But back to the outfits, please.
Sorry, I was focusing on mac and cheese. Now I need to focus back on the boys.
Yeah. So the first shot that we got from Austin FC this week was Maxi and Driussi coming in together. It looks like they might be a DJ duo.
Oh no, yeah.
Like they might be on their way to Coachella with this look. I don't know.
Maxi is definitely going to Coachella. His pants leave no room for Jesus.
No, but tons of room for sick beats.
Driussi's pants, on the other hand, so much room for Jesus in those pants. Jesus is all up in those pants.
And the devil's in his shoes. Look at this like bondage situation going on. He's got like belts and hooks and
Oh, I looked.
straps. Like, Steph, tell me about the Driussi shirt.
I don't know if I want to talk about the Driussi shirt in front of other people. I looked at this quickly at the stadium as we were sitting waiting for the match to start, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's so cool!" Driussi's wearing a Los Verdes t-shirt. It's not a t-shirt, but like button up.
Is he?
He is He is not.
What is he wearing?
He is wearing a Louis Vuitton shirt.
It's like the same thing, right?
I forgot. Like sitting in Q2, looking at Driussi, I forgot that there is a combination of LV that is in Los Verdes.
Isn't the 3,000 people immediately next to us screaming?
I just felt so stupid. Because I also thought they were like bones. And you know how we've got
sure,
those like
they've got
really
the-
great LV like finger bones.
Yep.
They're not. They're not at all.
No. One of the other looks that we got, though.
We got Bond villain.
We did get a Bond villain. It like Alex Ring, I think, must have read some comments about his first like post-match interview where he had the turtleneck on and looked like he was coming straight out of the newest Daniel Craig movie. Because this look it's just taking that to the next level, right?
It's actually that look that made me realize that I was being a big old ding dong with Driussi's shirt because he is carrying a Louis Vuitton bag. And I was like, oh, a Louis Vuitton bag. And then I was like, oh, Louis Vuitton's a thing.
For me, though, the big look from the day was Felipe's like work casual office dad outfit.
Yeah, he definitely looks like a dad except the carry-on that he's got.
Yep.
His bag is very elite athlete bag.
Yeah. I imagine, I don't have any idea what's in these athlete bags that look like this, but I want them to be their cleats. You know what I mean? Like I want them to like constantly be carrying their cleats around. Like when you're a little kid and you're in Little League and you carry your glove with you everywhere.
I believe that that's a thing that happens.
That's what I want in that bag.
You know what I want in that bag?
Snacks?
Yeah, Panera mac and cheese in a bread bowl.
Yep, I should have seen that coming. The last look that we got was straight off the Top Gun 2 or 3 or whatever the new
Jet
Top
Plane
Gun.
Boogaloo.
Yeah, whatever the new Top Gun movie is. Nick Lima's in it, apparently.
Yeah, he looks so cool. There's nothing to say about this look besides how cool he looks.
I love that he is wearing a shiny black Henley underneath a black bomber jacket. There's so much shine and black in this picture that it's such a good move that he went with the matte sunglasses.
Well, and because his hair's so shiny.
Right.
So it's honestly a perfect look, and the shot that they got of him looking off into the distance.
The middle distance shot. Yeah, is he a writer? Is this a piece on Nick Lima's journey?
I mean, I would believe that this is a movie still. I would absolutely believe that this is a still from a movie about someone who's very cool. And he's got maybe some thoughts in his head. He's thinking a lot of things. He looks deep in thought.
Yeah, McConaughey, give him a voiceover.
His mouth does have that signature McConaughey hang. It's slightly open a little bit, he's about to say something, but he just keeps you waiting for it.
Speaking of waiting for it, I know all week you were telling me how much you could not wait for this match. Your new home playing your old home. What a perfect opportunity. And we got an Ethan Finley revenge game start.
Okay, so yeah, I guess we're moving on to our on-pitch personality segment. So I spent all day thinking about not Panera mac and cheese in a bread bowl. I spent all day thinking about the Mighty Ducks because I spend a lot of days, to be honest, thinking about the Mighty Ducks, probably more days than a grown adult should. But
no.
I mean, I use the Mighty Ducks in my classes. I use Coach Bombay's locker room talk for persuasive speaking.
Oh, I thought you meant whenever you have a student with a problem.
I also quack at them quite frequently. But I love the Mighty Ducks. I grew up a figure skater, so we kind of had a thing with hockey players, but the Mighty Ducks was the one thing that made me think hockey was okay. And what I really wanted was to see a pair of Bash brothers out on the pitch. I was I kept asking Mike, I'm who do you think our Bash brothers are? Who do you think it would be? And the way Cascante and Gabrielson played, y'all, I got my wish. I got a pair of Bash brothers out there so hard. I was I willed it into existence.
Yeah, it's like they were in your thoughts and your request for an intense physical game. They were oh girl, we got you.
I mean, when Cascante literally kicked someone while he was on the ground and then got bodied.
Yeah, the box hall slam dunk maneuver was a little extreme.
Not if you're playing for the penalties. Remember, Coach Bombay in one of the movies it was "Ooh, you got to draw those fouls. You got to act up." And then they were "Ooh, that's unethical." We were teetering on that, I think.
My favorite part about that was Cascante waiting for the call to happen, getting the call. And then Stuver having to tell him, "Hey man, you got the call." Good work.
Yeah. It's a whole movie plot, man. It was beautiful and it was good. And watching Gabrielson really fire up and make some beautiful tackles, oh my God.
Yeah, we, given where our seats are, we got to watch a lot more defense in the second half. Mm-hmm. And so we got to see a lot more of that intensity than kind of the offensive side of the pitch. But we did see some things in the first half offensively that I feel like we need to talk about.
Yeah, and this really, you'll notice a theme, and that theme is I grew up in Minnesota and won't shut up about it. And one of the things about living in Minnesota is that everyone's so nice. My family's from New England where nobody's nice.
Right.
And so, we would be at a 4-way stop sign and cars would be like, you go. And another car would be like, no, you go.
And there's a line of cars
Yeah,
in
and
all
my
four
mom would be like,
directions.
okay, well, I'm going to go. And I feel like Ethan Finley maybe has too much of that Minnesota nice in him. Maybe there's too much because there were a lot of plays where he just kind of like maybe trotted up or trotted back and didn't really follow through as aggressively as I felt maybe he should have.
Yeah, it seemed like he knew what run he could make, but he didn't want to get in the way of his teammates or like occupy the same space as somebody else.
Yeah.
And so it did, from the outside, look like maybe he was hesitant.
Yeah, and I was asking Mike at one point if maybe he felt like he didn't want to step on toes, or he felt like he wanted to. It almost looked like he had to ask permission to make plays throughout.
Excuse me, can I run into this open space?
Sorry. 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 Didn't mean to. Didn't mean to take your ball there. Sorry.
Yeah, there's a lot of sorry going on in our little section every time. But I think a lot of that has to do with like he hasn't gotten a ton of minutes with the first team, right? And so as he gets more comfortable in that spot, I think hopefully we should see him know where his space is more.
Yeah. And maybe like take a little bite out of, find some of that, lose some of that Minnesota and find some of that like,
Spice.
Spice.
Speaking of spice, Maxi's goal. So first off, Maxi has like the coolest move where he like fakes the falling down, hopes for the call, like we were talking about earlier, and then realizes everyone's forgotten about him, and then he just pops up and gets the goal. Like,
it's so good.
Mwah.
Whoever put the like health bar visual over the play with like it going down, him coming down and going to red and then kicking right back to green when he shoots the goal. Brilliant.
So good. But at the same time, you and I were a little bit focused on something else.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, when Driussi went down, I honestly didn't even see the goal happen. And it was so hard to celebrate in that moment because he looked down.
Yeah, when Driussi hit the ground, I had never seen him like be the roll around on the ground and like make a big fuss when fouled kind of player. Like he goes down, he'll spend time on the floor, but not like that. Right. And so I was terrified.
Yeah.
As I'm watching him roll around, grabbing his leg, like all I could think was, oh no, this is bad.
It looked bad.
This is not good. And then the trainers came out and I was like, oh no. And that was the least I ever celebrated a goal.
Yeah. It was so needed in such a chaotic atmosphere. And I know Landon touched on this on Moontower, but that whole match was like anxiety through the roof.
Yeah. I didn't feel the anxiety, but I did feel the like intensity of it. And yeah, like the goal to break the game open was so crucial, but still filled with
tension and anxiety.
Yeah.
It didn't go away with that goal.
That was the most anxious I felt for sure, was watching Seva and not knowing what was going to happen with that.
Yeah. But I mean, overall, it was an intense match, but I'm so happy. I'm just so happy with the win and so happy with the fire that our boys are playing with.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty.
No.
But it was hard fought, and we definitely deserved those 3 points. So.
You know what else was a hard fought win?
What's that?
The Mighty Ducks.
Oh my God.
When the Mighty Ducks went out to Panera and got macaroni and cheese and a bread bowl. Let's hit our social media.
Perfect. What a perfect segue to social media.
So let's jump back a couple weeks.
Yeah, I think it's important. If we're going to talk about Panera Bread Bowls so much, we should talk about vacation.
Yeah.
And we should talk about the international break. We were the only team that didn't have players go away in MLS. So,
which honestly, I liked because we got more of their vacation photos. If all of our players were going up, or any of our players, we wouldn't have so many international break bashes.
That's true. We got a lot of cool insight. We got a lot of players like tweeting and commenting at each other about how much they missed each other.
Oh my gosh.
So cute.
I learned a new Spanish phrase that week because I wasn't certain I was translating right, but everyone just missed the heck out of each other. So we've boiled it down to our top 2 favorite international break moments.
Yes.
Otherwise, we would be here forever. So
I will take the second if you want to take the first.
I will take the first because when I got the alert that Driussi went live on Instagram, I was like on my way home from work and I was like, oh, I guess I do need to stop and get the mail and sit at the mailbox for 20 minutes. Because I didn't know how long the live was going to last. And it was so engaging and so great because Driussi, Maxi, and Rodney Redes were kayaking. Well, they were at a lake house, and Maxi and Rodney were kayaking. Driussi was sitting on the dock filming them. And every couple minutes they would drift back and then they would bump into the wall and then Driussi would just laugh at them. And Rudy's talking about how hard it is and how difficult, and everyone Rodney is just their sweet little child who we all love so much for being a sweet little angel.
Steph described it when we were out the other night, when you bring your little brother out.
Yeah, exactly.
And you just you want to show him a good time, but you want to keep him safe.
You want to keep him so safe. It's everyone's patting him on the head all the time is how I feel their energy is towards him. And I just really want the best for Rodney. I want him to be his best, and I want the best for him. So basically, Driussi spent the whole time making fun of them. And then Diego's watching Driussi's live and commenting every 30 seconds that he misses them.
So cute.
It was just so sweet.
So
and
pure.
Yes, it was so pure, and that's what I loved the most about it.
The thing I loved the most from the international break was Johan Valencia's family photos from Disney and Orlando, especially because Steph and I just did this same trip in December. Yep. Time has dates in it. But so we went to Disney and seeing Johan basically taking the same photos we took across the park was so I put myself in his shoes a lot. You know what I mean? Just knowing how stoked I was. And then the best thing happened for him. He went to Universal. For him, I think this is the best thing because of how big a Simpsons fan he is. And so knowing that he had a birthday cake one time with Bart Simpson on it, and he's just a dork about this stuff, right? Being at Universal in their little Springfield land is so cool. And it's so fun as a fan of The Simpsons, being at Moe's Tavern and going into the Quickie Mart and things like that just filled me with so much joy. Getting to see him do the same thing just made me super happy. Yeah,
it was nice. It was magical. The pictures of Disney, and it was my first time going in December, so I didn't really understand it until I went. And now looking at pictures of other people there, I'm I can feel that little bit of magic. And it was just so sweet. They're so cute.
Yeah. It seemed like they had a really good time.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I feel like that pressure must be crazy, right? To have come in as the guy, and then Danny is doing Danny Pereira stuff on the field, just bossing everyone. And so you don't actually get to do the job that you came in for, and now you've got to fight for this thing that it felt like a foregone conclusion you were going to have. Yep. Must be so weird, emotionally. So seeing him get to have that reset was really cool.
Yeah, it was great.
yeah, so
Fast forward to this week on social media.
yeah,
Bloop.
great sound effect.
Thank you. So we started, this is actually a couple weeks ago, but Ruben Gabrielson had an Instagram. It was him and it was Danny Husin and there was someone else. And the caption was like, ooh, listening to Danny Husin's dumb ideas again. And it was just like such a silly ribbing that made me laugh so hard.
Yeah, it was this like random spicy burn out of Gabrielson, who has like been pretty quiet since coming to the team, right? Like he's had 3 like Instagram posts and then like a couple of stories.
Yeah, and that was one of the first things that I was like, okay, so yes, he's part of this team, he's part of this group, he's part of this like camaraderie club. Yeah.
I thought it was nice to see him starting to like bed in more, right?
Be part of that supportive boys culture. Gentle ribbing.
Yeah. Speaking of gentle ribbing, I feel like we have to talk about Danny's brother.
Always.
Danny Pereira, you are now second in my like social media game.
Wow.
Below your own brother, who is just so funny and so sweet and like clearly loves Danny so much.
Yeah, and we were watching him in the supporters section on Sunday, and it was so cool to see him jumping around and
supporting his bro and like singing along to all the songs, and like you could just tell how special the situation was for him, right? There's a photo that he posted in his story that just, it's him and his brother at the end of the match, like arms around each other, and it just says last home game of this beautiful adventure. Yeah. And it's just so sweet. And I hope they had a perfect time together, and I hope that Danny is okay once his brother does go back wherever, or like whatever the next step is for him, you know what I mean? But it just was so precious.
Yeah, it was really great, and it was just nice to see him so engaged.
Yes. One of the other things, speaking of engagement, that I saw a lot,
that was good. I didn't even drop that on purpose.
was Nick Lima's engagement photos just kind of keep popping up, you know?
Yeah, and what I like about this so much is that they're just so normal.
Yeah.
Like it's just they, if you think I didn't snoop their photographer, as we're looking for our own wedding,
you'd be wrong.
Yeah, you'd be wrong. And it's just something that like, normal couples do, and they're at a normal engagement photo place and they're normal posed photos. It just felt so down to earth and so it was just so nice. And so like you sometimes forget that these elite athletes are just people who also get engaged and then get married and take nice, sweet engagement photos.
Yeah. For me, one of the things that reminded me that these people are normal people was when John Gallagher posted a photo about like celebrating the win from Minnesota. And all of the boys like hopped on it and just started like commenting on his stuff, calling him like the Flash, or like just a race car noise, or like Ruben comments slow in the head but fast feet. And just like, I don't know, like the kind of crap that like my friends and I post on each other's garbage, right? Just being stupid.
Yeah, how engaged they are with each other, with the fans, and just in general. They're all in it.
Yeah, everybody seems really close. The closest, though, as always, still are the best friends of Johan Romagna and Moussa Gite. They had a karaoke party the other day. Steph, did you see this one?
You know what? I saw it on mute. I was at work, so I couldn't listen to it. But I did see it, and it looked like a lot of fun.
So it's amazing. Romagna's driving around with a car full of friends, and Gite's in it, and they're all singing in Spanish, and Moussa's like singing along, but he doesn't really know the words, and so they all stop singing and like try to make him only like take a solo, and like it's so like it just seems so fun and silly. It took me back to a car ride that we had with a foreign exchange student one time where myself and one of my groomsmen were in the car together with this dude from the country of Georgia who like had never heard all the songs that we're singing. And like, it's a full car of people singing along. And finally he picks up on the chorus to one. And so we just started like, this is dangerous. Someone who isn't us started stage diving from the front of the car into the back of the car, like on top of everyone and piling it. Again, it wasn't us. And it was definitely more than 7 years ago or however long the statute of limitations is for stage dives in a moving car.
One of the nice, wholesome things that I wanted to leave off with is we got to see and meet Felipe at the Verde store today. And it was so cool. He's so cool. He's just so nice and kind and, again, approachable and engaging and sweet.
Yeah, I thought his perspective was really good, too. Because I had to ask him, like, hey, man, you're, like, really involved on social media with the fans. What's that like as someone who came from Italy? Like, because, you know, the Italians are passionate about their football. And he was like, everyone here is so much nicer. You can't read what the fans say in Italy. But here, it's okay. Like,
yeah, and it was really cool just to, you know, hear him talk about you can engage and you can be out there, but you can't let it get to you, you know, whatever that feedback is, because so many people feel like they have obviously things to say. We've all got things to say. But just to see the head that he has and the perspective that he's got on it is really admirable.
Yeah. Super cool dude. If he does another meet and greet, highly recommend going out and just shaking his hand and letting him know, like, because it was awesome. It was super cool.
It was very cool. And then also stick around because Maxie picked him up, but we all missed that. So
yeah, apparently Maxie's driving him around. Like,
all right. So to end today, we've got the man of my jersey pick for this week. And
yeah, whose name's on your back, Steph?
This week, I'm going to go with half of the duo that made my dreams come true, Julio Cascante. Because he fulfilled that Bash brother dream. And Gabrielson already got man of the match in the actual real world. So I'm going to go with Cascante. There was just so much physical energy on the pitch, and I loved it.
Awesome. Julio, this shirt's for you.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much for spending time with us. My name is Mike Ellison.
I'm Stephanie Corniola, and this is Swoontower Soccer.